rather than results of these smaller sub-problems are remembered, right? So, but in matlab they are solved independently, and then you don't have to remember the results of these smaller sub-problems are remembered and used for similar or overlapping sub-problems, right? So, uh, in dynamic programming, what you do is first you solve the smaller subproblem, and then you remember the result of that subproblem, and then that result is used for similar or overlapping subproblems to be solved. That is what dynamic programming does, right? Mostly dynamic programming algorithms are used for solving optimization problems, optimal to find the optimal solution. So before solving the in-hand subproblem, dynamic algorithm will try to examine the results of the previously solved subproblems, right? So it will not try to examine the result of the previously solved subproblem. It will use that. The solution of the subproblem are combined in order to achieve the best optimal final solution. So this paradigm is thus said to be used bottom-up approach. Matlab, what we generally use in dynamic programming is bottom-up approach. You can also use top-down, but generally it is bottom-up approach. So we conclude that the problem should be able to be divided into smaller overlapping subproblem. Find optimal solution can be achieved by using an optimal solution. Uh, Somebody is speaking. So final optimal solution can be achieved by using an optimal solution to smaller subproblems. Dynamic algorithm use memorization, right? So here you have a problem, then you are dividing it into subproblems like here n-1, n-1. Then further it is divided into subproblems, right? So their solution is being found out, and then uh, the solution of the combined the solution of the problem is being used. So however, in a problem, two main properties can suggest that the given problem can be solved using dynamic programming. So which problems can be solved using dynamic programming? Overlapping subproblems. Similar to divide and conquer approach, dynamic programming also combines solutions to subproblems. It is mainly used where the solution of one subproblem is needed repeatedly, right? So the computed solution are stored in a table so that these don't have to be recomputed. Hence, this technique is needed where overlapping subproblem exists. So what they are saying is you will create a table, you will compute a solution for the subproblem and store them in a table so that they don't have to be recomputed. Hence, this technique is needed where overlapping subproblem exists. So, for example, binary search does not have overlapping subproblem, whereas recursive program of Fibonacci numbers have many overlapping subproblems, right? So that is what they are trying to tell. So optimal substructure, a given problem has optimal substructure property if the optimal solution of the given problem can be obtained using optimal solution of its subproblem. So you have to have an optimal solution. So how will you get an optimal substructure property of a problem is that if the optimal solution of a subproblem is found, then you can find the optimal substructure or optimal solution of the problem, right? For example, the shortest path problem has the following optimal substructure property. If a node x lies in the shortest path from a source node u to destination node v, then the shortest path from u to v is the combination of the shortest path from u to x and the shortest path from x to u. So they are saying if a node lies in the shortest path from a source u to destination node v, in between there is a node called x. So then the shortest path from u to v is the combination of the shortest path from u to x and u to v, x to v. This will be the substructure, optimal substructure of the problem. The standard all-pair shortest path algorithm like Floyd, Warshall, and Bellman-Ford are typical examples of dynamic programming. So we will do Floyd, Warshall in our study. So steps of the dynamic programming approach will be Characterize the structure of an optimal solution, recursively define the value of an optimal solution, compute the value of an optimal solution, typically in a bottom-up fashion, construct an optimal solution from the computed information. So you will first characterize the structure of the optimal solution, then recursively define the value of an optimal solution and compute the value of an optimal solution, typically in a bottom-up fashion. Construct an optimal solution from the computed information. These are the steps. So dynamic programming versus greedy versus divide and conquer. What are the differences? What dynamic programming, greedy and divide and conquer. So in contrast to greedy algorithms where local optimization is addressed, dynamic algorithms are motivated for an overall optimization of the problem. So in greedy technique, if you use greedy algorithms or greedy technique algorithms, so local optimization means in some substructure or sub problem, you will have a optimization. That means you will have certain optimal solution. But in dynamic, they are motivated to find the overall optimization of the problem, the whole problem optimized to a certain extent. So in a and when you talk about divide and conquer, in divide the where solutions are combined to achieve an overall solution. So you what you do, you divide this problem into sub problems and then you combine the sub problems to achieve a solution, right? In dynamic algorithm, they use the output of a smaller sub problem and then they try to optimize a bigger sub problem. So first they will find out the solution of the smaller sub problem, then they will optimize a bigger sub problem. So dynamic algorithm use memorization to remember the output of the already solved sub problems. So this is how the dynamic programming works. So these are the examples. So examples of dynamic programming algorithms, you can say matrix chain multiplication algorithm is there, Floyd-Warshall algorithm is there, 0-1 knapsack problem is there, traveling salesman problem is there, right? So longest common sequence algorithm we will not be doing. We don't have this in the our syllabus, so we'll be doing these ones. So dynamic programming can be used in both top-down and bottom-up manner. And of course, most of the times referring to the previous solution output is cheaper than recomputing in terms of CPU cycle, because you're keeping the output of the previous solution. So it is cheaper than recomputing it. So that is one thing. So first algorithm which they are talking about is matrix chain multiplication algorithm. So we know that how matrices are multiplied. So matrix chain multiplication is an algorithm that is applied to determine the lowest cost way for multiplying matrices. So if you talk about matrix chain multiplication algorithm, which is following the dynamic approach, right? It is the lowest cost way for multiplying matrices. So actual multiplication is done using the standard way of multiplying the matrices. That is, it follows the basic rule that the number of rows of one matrix must be equal to the number of columns in another matrix. That is the rule, right? Hence, multiple scalar multiplications must be done to achieve the product. To brief it further, consider matrices A, B, C, D. So you have four matrices A, B, C, and D to be multiplied. Hence, the multiplication is done using the standard multiplication. There are multiple combinations of the matrices found while using the standard approach, since matrix multiplication is associative. So there are 5 ways. You can say A, then into B, bracket into B, bracket into C into D. So C into D are there. Then you will multiply B with that. Then you will multiply A. So wherever you are putting brackets according to that. Like here they are putting BC. Then they are multiplying D with it. Then they are multiplying A with it according to the bracket. Or you can say you can multiply A and B first. Then you can multiply C and D, and then both results are multiplied. Or again the same thing is so here B and C are multiplied, then into A they are multiplying, and then they are multiplying D, right? Then or you can multiply AB first, then multiply C, then multiply D, the result. So there are 5 ways they have shown according to this how you can multiply. So now if the size of matrices A, B, C and D are L, M, M, N, N, P and PQ. The size means the row and column. So row and column of A is LM, Row and column of B is Mn. Whose mic is there? Then row and column of D is PQ. So these are, they have given the size. Then the number of scalar multiplication performed will be L into M into N into P into Q. Right, but the cost of the matrices change based on the rows and columns present in it. Suppose the value of L, M, and PQ are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 respectively. The cost of A into B into CD so will be, so CD, what they have shown is 5 into 100 into 25. If we calculate CD first, so it will be 20 into 25, I think. Into 25. Which is 500. And 500 into 'Okay. So here if you see L into M, M into N, N into P, P into Q. So the basic criteria will be L, M, N, P, Q. So L, M, N, P, Q are having the values these. So if we calculate according to this, it will be 20 into 25 multiplied by 15 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 5. It will be how they have calculated. They are saying for A you are taking 5, then B and then C into D. So B and C into D, how much will that be? B is having M into N, N into D and this. TQ. How they have taken 100. Let us see what ahead of that is how they are calculating it, right? So in according to the algorithm, the dynamic programming approach of the matrix chain multiplication is adopted in order to find the combination with the lowest cost. So we will be going for the lowest cost, which will be finding out. So matrix chain multiplication algorithm is only applied to find the minimum cost way to multiply a sequence of matrices. Therefore, the input taken by the algorithm is a sequence of matrices, while the output achieved is the lowest cost parameterization. Right. So count the number of parentherization, that is parenthesis. You are like here we have divided, we have given parenthesis. So you will count the number of parentheses, then find the number of ways in which the input matrices can be multiplied using the formula. So the formula through which you will find the number of ways in which the input matrices can be multiplied is Pn is equal to, so sigma n minus 1, k is equal to 1 and n minus 1, or I think it is n equal to 1 or n minus 1. Pn will be 1 if n is equal to 1, and Pn will be equal to pk into Pn minus k if n is greater than equal to 2, right? Or Pn is equal to 2 n minus 1 into C n minus 1 divided by n if n is greater than equal to 2, and Pn is 1 if n is equal to 1. So once the parentherization is done, the optimal substructure must be devised as the first step of dynamic programming approaches to find the final product achieved is optimal. So in the chain matrix multiplication, the optimal substructure is found by dividing the sequence of matrices Aij into two parts, Aik and Ak plus 1j. It must be ensured that the parts are divided in such a way that optimal solution is achieved. Using the formula Cij is equal to min I is less than equal to k and k is less than j, Cik plus Ck plus 1j plus di minus 1 dk dj if I is less than j, and if Cij will be equal to 0 if I is equal to j. Find the lowest cost parentherization of the sequence of matrices by constructing cost tables and corresponding k values. So they are saying you will find the k values, and you will, according to the lowest cost parentherization sequence, you will construct the cost table according to that. So once the lowest cost is found, print the corresponding parentherization as the output. So they've given the pseudocode. We'll come to the pseudocode later. First, we'll find out how we are calculating that according to the matrix multiplication algorithm. The application of dynamic programming formula is slightly different from the theory. To understand it better, let us look at the example. A sequence of matrices A, B, C, D with dimensions 5, 10, 10, 15, 15, 20, 20, 25 are said to be multiplied. Find the lowest cost parentherization to multiply the given matrices using matrix chain multiplication. So given matrices are their corresponding dimensions. So A's is 5 into 10, then B's is 10 into 15, and C's is 15 into 20, and D's is 20 into 25. These are the size. Now find the count of parentheses of the four matrices, that is n is equal to 4, right? So there are four matrices, so n is equal to 4. So using the formula Pn is equal to 1 if n is equal to 1, and sigma k is equal to 1, n minus 1, pk n minus k if n is greater than equal to 2, since n is equal to 4. So apply the second case of the formula Pn is equal to, so if your n is 4, because you have four matrices, so your n will be in this case, this one, if n is greater than equal to 0. So this formula will be applied. So we'll apply the second case. Pn is equal to sigma k is equal to 1 to n minus 1, pk pn minus k, this formula we'll apply. So it is P4 is equal to sigma k is equal to 1 to n minus 1, means n is 4, 4 minus 1 will be 3. So k is equal to 1 to 3. Pk p n minus k. So n is 4 minus k. Right. So this is the formula. Now, if P1 is equal to 1 and P2 is equal to 1, P4 will be calculated based on P3 value. Therefore, P3 needs to be determined first. So you know that if we keep n as 1, so it is equal to 1 here. If you see here, it will be equal to 1 here. So P1 will be 1 and P2 is equal to, P2 is again they are saying P2 will also be equal to 1. So P4 will be calculated based on P3, next P3 value, not so we'll take K as 3. K's value will keep at 3. So so therefore P3 needs to be determined first. So here they are calculating P3 is equal to P1 into P2 plus P2 into P1. So here if we keep K as 1, so it will be P1 into P4 minus 1 is 3. If you say K, if you start with K's value from 1 to 3, 1 to 3, it is K is equal to 1 to 3, sigma K is equal to 1 to 3 it is. So keep K as 1 first. So what will be PK here? K is 3. So P1, sorry, K is 1 first, P1, then into P4 minus 1 will be P3. Then again sigma, sum of it is the plus. Next value of K we will keep 2. So P2, P4 minus 2 is 2, P2 into P2 plus again next last value which is there is 3, right? So we'll keep 3, then it will be P4 minus 3 which is P1. These are the values. So if P1 is equal to 1 and P2 is equal to 1, P4 will be calculated based on P3 value. Therefore, P3 needs to be determined first. Right. So they are saying if we calculate this one P1 will give us 1 and P2 will give us 1. So we'll calculate the value according to P3 they are saying. P3 if we take, so K is equal to 1 to n minus 1. N minus 1 means 3 minus 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. So K is equal to 1 to 2 it will be. So it will be P1, P 3 minus 1 will be 2. So P1 P into P2 plus P2, next is 2, P 4 minus 2, sorry, 3 minus 2 will be 1. So P2 into P1, because we are keeping now P3, we are calculating P3 here. So according to P3 we are calculating. So P1 into P2 plus P2 into P1 both are giving us 1 1, which is equal to 2. Therefore P4 P1 P into P3 plus P2 into P2 plus P3 into P1. What will be the value? 2 plus 1 plus 2. Okay, because if you see here P1 into P3 and P3 into P1, both means the same thing. So we have calculated P3 and we are finding here what is P3? It is 2, 2 and P1 is 1 only. So P3 is 2, so 2 into 1 is 2, or P2 into P2 will be 1 if you calculate, and P3 because 1 into 1, 2, P2 will be 1, answer is 1, so 2 into 2 is 1. Sorry, 1 into 1 is 1 and P3 into P1 again it is 2, which we have calculated here. So 2 plus 1 plus 2 is equal to 5. So among these 5 combinations of parentheses, the matrix chain multiplication algorithm must find the lowest cost parenthesis. So they are saying that the parentheses which are there, 5 combination of parentheses are there. According to this, what we have found out the formula, right? The matrix chain multiplication algorithm must find the lowest cost parenthesis. So the table shown above is the below table is a cost table where all the cost values calculated from the different combination of parentheses are stored. So here you will do that 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 row and column you have put here. Another table is also created to store the k values obtained at the minimum cost of each combination. So this is one of the cost tables, right? Where the different combinations of parentheses will be stored, and this another table you have created for value of k according to the minimum cost combination. What is the value of k? That is what you are storing. So two tables are there. So step 2, apply the dynamic approach, programming approach formula, find the cost of various parameterization. So if you want to find the various cost parameterization, the formula is Cij is equal to min I less than equal to k less than j, Cik plus Ck plus 1j plus di minus 1 dk dj if I is less than j. If I is not less than j, it is equal to j, then Cij will be equal to 0. According to this formula, you will keep on finding the cost of the parameterization. So if you see C1, if you find C11, if I and j both are, the indices both are equal, I and j both are equal, 1 1, so your value of Cij will be 0. If you see here, it will be 0. So C11, C22, C33, C44 all will be 0, right? Because I is equal to j. Where I is less than j, so here they are just giving an example. So on step 3, applying the dynamic approach formula only in upper triangle values of the cost table, since I is less than j always, right? So C12, if you see C12, 1 I is 1 and j is 2, so 1 is less than 2, so equal to min, 1 is less than equal to k less than 2, I and j are these values, right? C11 plus C22 plus D0, D1, D2. So how they have calculated C1K, right? C1K plus CK plus 1J. Okay, so if we are keeping K as 1 here, so C1K will, CIK will be, I is 1 and K we are keeping 1, so it will be C11, and Ck plus 1 j will be, j is 2. So k plus 1 will be, k we have kept 1, so k plus 1 will be 2. So 2 and j is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 plus what is here, I minus 1. So I is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So d0, and dk, k we have kept 1. So d1, and dj is d2. Right, this is these are the values. Now what is the value of C1K? If we see C11, we have already seen it is 0, C22 is 0, so we have kept here 0, right? Plus, right, 0 plus 0 plus, now D0, D1, D2, right? What are these values? D0, D1, D2. 5, 10, 15. So what were our 5, 10 and 15? Okay, if we say that D0 is this and D1 is this, and D10 and 10 both we will be taking D, this is D0, these two are D1, right? Then D2, D2, then D3 and D4. Similar values we are keeping here. So if we are taking it as D0, D1, D2, so it is 5, 10 and 15, right? Which is coming out to be 750, right? Again, if we see 2 comma 3, Index number 2 comma, so 750, where we will keep, if we see this if we see the cost table, in the cost table we 1 2 3 4 we have kept here, 1 2 3 4 we have kept here, right? So one C11 will be 0, C22 will be 0, C33 will be 0, C44 will be 0. So the diagonal elements we have put 0 because they are 0. Now 1 2 1 2 will be 7, sorry, here we are getting the value as 750, so we have put here 750, right? Next, which is the which where I is less than j, I is less than j is here now. 2 and 3, I is less than j, right? So I is 2, j is 3. So next index will be 2 comma 3. So in 2 comma 3, min 2 less than equal to k less than equal to 3. Now here the minimum value of k we can take is here is 2, right? Because here was 1, k is less than equal to here 1, right? So than equal to here I 1. Now uh, we will take k as 2. So now our I is to c I will be 2 comma 2, right? We are taking k as 2, and I is already 2, plus c k plus 1 j. So k plus 1 j will be, as k we have taken 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, and j is 3 already here, so it is 3 here. So next here it will be I minus 1. So because I is 2, so 2 minus 1 is 1, right? And then dk and dk will be 2, and d3 j is 3, so it will be d3. So d1 d2 d3, right? So d1 our d1 is 10, which I have already told you. The here this is d0, this is d1, right? Then this is d2, this is d3, and this is d4. So d1 is d2 is d1 is 10, d2 is 15, and d3 is 20. So these are the values of these determinants, or you can say the size. Though it will, you already know that C22, C33 are 0. Sim I and j, where there are equal, it is 0. So we have kept here 0, and the values these are creating is 3000. 10 into 15 into 20 is 3000. So we will keep in our table where it is 3000 here at 2 3. Then next index, which is like I is less than j, is 3 4. So 3 4 is the next value. So again min 3 less than equal to k less than equal less than 4. So 3 3. So that is the value we are getting, 3 and 3, because we are keeping k as 3 here minimum. So 3 is I, so 3 3 I comma k plus 3 k plus 1 j. So k plus 1 will be, k is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, and j is 4. Plus next is I minus 1, I d I minus 1. So d I is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2, and next is dk, which is 3, and next is dj, which is 4. So D2, D3, D4, the values of that are 15 into 20 into 25, and C3334 are 0. So this is calculated as this 7500, right? So it is kept here 3 4, right? So we have found these values where I is less than j. Now find the values 1 3 and 2 4 in this step. The cost table is always filled diagonally stepwise. Now you are finding 2, 4 and 1, 3. That are also smaller. 2, 4, this one, and 1, 3, this one. Right? I is smaller than j. So you are finding here again, they have taken here 2 less than equal to k less than 4. Right? So 2, 2 will be the k is taken as 2. So I is 2, 2, 2 will be c2 2 plus. Next will be k plus 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 comma 4, d1, d2, d4. Right? Then now here, one more thing you have to take is C23 plus C44 plus D1, D3, D4. So 2, 3 we have already calculated here. Where we have calculated? Here we have calculated 2, 3. Right. So if you have to find out 2, 4, so you have also need, because in between you have 2, 3 also. This value is also there. So to find out 2, 4, so you are first finding out this thing. Sorry, this one. First finding out this one up to here of your two, keeping k as 2, but there is another values, middle suboptimal solution you have found out, that is 2, 3. That also you are keeping it here, so you're keeping 2, 3's value also here. Now if you can so 2, 4 means this is 0. 3, 4 we have calculated. 3, 4. 3, 4 is 7,500. So 3, 4 you will keep, see 3, 4 you will keep for 7,500. Plus D1, D2, D4 are 10 into 15 into 20. So this much you have found out. Now C23. C23 is 3,000 plus C44 is 0. Right? And plus D1, D3, D4. So D1, D3, D4 will be, if you see here, D1 is 10, D3 is 20, and D4 is 25. Right? Which will come out to be 5,000. So they have calculated your values as 7,500 plus 10 into 15 into 20. So they are saying either you can find out this one or you can find out this one. So which is giving you the least values. So if you see here 10 into 15 into 20, how much will that be?
$3,000.
3,000. 3,000 plus 7,500. 10,500. Okay. And what will this create? 8,000. So which one is which value you will take for 2, 4? You will not take this one. It is giving you a higher value. You are taking this one as a result, because you have to take the minimum. So here what we are doing is, here we are finding this one. If we keep k as 2, then the result will be 10,500. If we keep k as 3, then what will be the result? This one, which is 3,000 plus 5,000. If you keep k as 3 here, 2 comma 3 it will be, c 2 comma 3 plus c, k plus 1 it is, so 3 plus 1 is 4 comma 4, j is 4. Can you see that? So they are saying you can take minimum of these two solutions. Either you because your k is in between 2 and equal to less than and equal to 2 and between 4, less than 4. So you can take two combinations. Either you can take 2 or you can take 4, 3, 2 and 3. So if we keep k as 2, so this is the values we will be getting, right? If we take k as 3, these are the values we will be getting. So we are taking the minimum one, either from this or this. The minimum we are getting is 8,000. We'll not take this one because it is giving us 10,000. Same way we will find out 1 and 3. So 1 and 3, if we find out, again 1 is less than equal to k less than 3, that means 1 and 2, two values you can keep for k, right? So C11 plus, so if we keep k as 1, so C11 plus C 1 plus 1, 2, 3 plus D0, D1, D3. These are the combination if we keep k is equal to 1. If we keep k is equal to 2, C12, k is 2 plus C33, because k plus 1 will be 3 and j is 3 here. So C3, and these are the values for your, if you keep k's as 2. So which one will be giving you minimum? So here this is 0, 2, 3 we have found out as 3000. Okay. And D0, D1, D3 will give you 1000. Then C12 we have found out 1, 2 as 750, and 3, 3 as 0, and D0, D2, D3 as 1500. So which one will give you, this will give you 4000 and this is giving you 2250. So this is the minimum you will take, 2250. So we will keep the minimum here. It is 2250 here, not 2200. So they must have mistakenly written here, right? And here you have taken 8000. So this much your table has been finished. Now compute the final element of the cost table to compare the lowest cost parameterization. So C14, now 14 you are calculating. So C14 is 1 less than equal to k less than 4. So you are keeping first k as 1. So this is the values you will get. Then you are keeping k as 2. So these are the values you will get. Then you are keeping k as 3. These are the values you will get. Right. So it is 0 plus 8000 plus 1250 will be this one if you keep k as 1. If you keep k as 2, you are getting 750 plus 7500 plus 1875. And if you are keeping 3, then you are getting 2200 plus 0 plus 2500. So which one is giving you less result is this one, 2200 plus 0 plus 2500. This is a give for 4700 it is giving you. This one is giving you 4700. So you will take this lowest term 7500 you will keep at, sorry, 4700 you will keep at 14. So note that all the values in cost table are computed. The final step is to pantherize the sequences of matrices. For that, k table needs to be computed with the minimum value of k corresponding to every parenthesis. So now your k value, what they are saying is, if you in 1, 2, how many, what is the k value you are taking in 1, 2? Where is 1, 2? In 1, 2, you are taking the k value as 1, right? So you will keep here as 1. In 1, 3, there is 1, 3. In 1, 3, what is the k value you are taking? The minimum which is giving you k value you are taking as 2 here. So k value is 2. Then 1, 4, which is this one, which is the k value you are taking, it is 3. The minimum which is giving you. So k value is 3 here. Then 2, 3, 2, 3, where was 2, 3? Here. The k value which we had taken is 2, right? 2, 3, the k value is 2, and 2, 4, 2, 4, the minimum which is giving us is this. 2, 4 is, k value is 3. So 2, 4 is 3 again. Then 3, 4. Where is 3, 4? 3, 4, the k value we have taken as 3. Right, so we have kept here 3. So these are the k table needs to be constructed with the minimum value of k corresponding to every parenthesis. So parameterization based on the lowest cost values from cost table and the corresponding k values, let us add parentheses on the sequence of matrices. The lowest cost value at 1, 4 is achieved when k is 3. So 1, 4, the at 1, 4 the lowest is 3 when k is 3, right? Therefore the first parameterization must be done at 3, right? After this so they are saying after 3 matrices the first parameterization should be done, right? Because k is 3, right? At 1, 4 the lowest cost value at 1, 3, 1, 3 is 2, 1, 3 is achieved when k is 2. Therefore the next parameterization is done at 2. So 2 means a b we have kept in parenthesis, right, at the two matrices, and then c is there, right, after that d. So the lowest cost at 1, 2. So at 1, 2 it is 1. So it is achieved when k is 1. Therefore the next parameterization is done at 1. But the parameterization needs at least two matrices to be multiplied, so we need not divide further. So here if we see that rather than doing this into parenthesis, you can keep it that first you will divide first your value 1 at 1, 4 your k is 3, so you will multiply the three matrices and you will keep it in the parenthesis, right? Then they are saying at 1, 3 k is 2, you will keep the a b into parenthesis, two matrices into parenthesis, into c into d, so arcane bracket and then this, right? And when 1, 2 is, when k is equal to 1, you cannot keep at least two is should be multiplied, parenthesis needs to at least two matrices must be multiplied, so this final result should be this only. There is no further division of the parenthesis. This is the final solution of the matrix multiplication. This is what they are telling, right? This is how they find out that where the parenthesis will be there and how it will be multiplied. So they, what pseudocode or algorithm they have given is matrix chain multiplication p, right? N is equal to p. So whatever the value you are putting here will be the value of n. Sorry, n is equal to p dot length, right? So they will calculate the length of the matrices. What is there? Let M 1n 1n and S 1n 1 comma 2n be new matrices. So what they, I think it is here, it is plus 1n plus 1. You can keep here rather than keeping 1n or something like that, because that will be confusing. So you can keep L, M, and K, whatever you want to keep it. So you first, or IJ, if you want to keep it as IJ, you can keep it as IJ. So it will be MIJ and S, sorry, K, MIK and S, K plus 1 J. This is what you will be keeping, be the new matrices. For I is equal to 1 to n, MII is equal to 0, right? If both I, because both I and J are equal, that means I, if II is there, then it is equal to 0. For one, for, I don't know, it is L or what? For L is equal to 2 to n, L is the chain length. So they are saying it is the chain length. L is equal to 2 to n. For I is equal to 1 to n minus 1 plus 1. J is equal to I plus 1 minus 1. what is given in your book. N is length P minus 1. So what they are explaining here is the following pseudocode assumes that a matrix AI has dimension Pi minus 1 into Pi for I is equal to 1 to n, right? So these are the dimensions for your AI. The input is a sequence P equal to P0, P1 up to Pn, where length P is equal to n plus 1. Right. The procedure uses an auxiliary table M1 to N, 1 to N for storing Mij cost, and the auxiliary table S1 to N, 1 to N that records where index of K achieve the optimal computing cost in computing Mij. We will use the table S to construct an optimal solution. In line 3, 4 here, uh, algorithm first computes MII is equal to 0 for I is equal to 1 to n, minimum cost for chain of length 1, right? So which is equal to actually 0 when both values are similar. During the first execution for loop in line 5 and 13 here, 5 to 13, it uses equation 1 to compute m I comma I plus 1 for I is equal to 1 to n minus 1, the minimum cost for chains of length 2. The second time through the loop, it computes m I plus 2 for m I is equal to 1 to n minus 2, the minimum cost of chains of length 3, and so forth. At each step, the Mij cost computed in line 10 to 13 depends only on table entries Mik and Mk plus 1j already computed. Right. This is how they are finding out the solution. So what they are doing here, what you are doing here, up to here, I think you are keep what you are doing here. You are finding the minimum. The first you have seen that if your I and j are equal, that means I you can say I and j are equal. Your value will be equal to MII will be equal to 0, right? For I is equal to 1 to n, it will be 0 if both are same. And so if you, and in the next for loop, what they are saying is that the first execution, the equation will compute m I comma I plus 1 for I is equal to 1 to n minus 1, the minimum cost for chains of length 2, right? And at the second time through the loop, it computes m I plus 2 for I is equal to 1 to 2, the minimum cost for chains of length 3, and so on. It will keep on calculating with what we were doing in the here, what we were doing here. So we are keeping on calculating this and finding out the k cost. First, we have seen that if I is equal to j, so it will be equal to 0. Then we will keep on finding where I is less than 2, 1. I is less than 2, we'll find out the cost of those elements and keep on repeating that according to the other things. That is what it is explained in the algorithm, right? Then at each step, MIJ cost computed in line. So here you are calculating the MI's cost, that is CIJ's cost. And when you have computed the cost, and it depends only on table entries MIK and MK plus 1J already computed. So it will depend on already computed your values also, because we have already computed values also, which we will be using. And then you will also keep the values of k in another table. So the matrix chain order determines the optimal number of scalar multiplication needed to compute a matrix chain product. To obtain the optimal solution of the matrix multiplication, we call print optimal pass S1 SLN to print an optimal parameterization of A1, A2 up to AN. Each entry Sij records a value of k such that an optimal parameterization of A1 to Aj splits the product between Ak and Ak plus 1. So this is finding out the optimal solution. So how they have done it, so you have A1 13 to 35, 35 into 15, 15 into 5, 5 into 10, 10 into 20. They have found out. So here 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, 4 4, 5 5 will be 0. And they have found out 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 2 3, 2 4, 2 5, 3 3 4, 3 5, and 4 5. What are the values of k they have found out? Okay, these are the things they have done. So this is 1 2, this is 2 3, this is 3 4, and this is 4 5. Then they have found out 1 3 2 4 3 5. Then 1 4 1 4 2 5. This is a little longer. So this is the way they have found out the solution to a matrix multiplication problem. And they have also given the program also in C. So we'll do that in the practical session. So this is the program they have given. So according to that, here they are finding if A is less than B, return A, else return B. Minimum. So int min function they have created min, where they are passing A and B as the parameter, and they are they are comparing A is less than B. If it is less, then you are returning A. Otherwise, you will return B. That is what in function dynamic programming they have created, where a matrix C is taken, right? and then int I, int j. These are the three things they are passing as a parameter. If I is equal to j, you are returning 0. Else if mcij, so this is your matrix you have defined here, right? Mcij is not equal to -1, return mcij. So the value at mcij, whatever value you are taking of I and j, right? So here the value will be passed here of I and j to the parameter of this function. Whatever will the value of I and j, if it is not equal to -1, then you are printing that mcij value here. Mcij will be equal to int max, that will be the maximum. For int k is equal to I, k less than j, k plus plus, mcij is equal to min of mcij dynamic programming CIK plus dynamic programming this plus this. So they are the values what we were calculating C I J, the formula, this one, this formula we have to put it in the functions. So this is the formula: dynamic programming CIK plus dynamic programming CK plus 1J plus CI minus 1 into CK into CJ. And then you are returning MCIJ. Then here they are making int matrix C, int C, int N. Here also they are passing it. Int I is equal to 1, Ij is equal to N minus 1, return dynamic programming Cij. So these values will be passed here, right? So here int array is 23, 26, 27, 20. These are the values of the array, right? Int n is equal to size of array divided by size of array 0. So here you are calculating the size of the array. Memory set MC, comma, have, have we created anything of mem set? Print minimum number of multiplication is matrix A or comma N. So in the matrix function, this AR is passed here, and N's value you are getting from here. Here you are passing the N's value. Then I is equal to 1, J is equal to N minus 1 will be your matrix size. So you are passing it to dynamic programming Cij. So this is this C is passed, that is ARR is passed here, and I and J's value are passed from here. So here your C and Ij are passed here. If I is equal to whatever, you will keep 0, and if it is not equal to -1, then you will return MC Ij. Right, otherwise you will be keeping the maximum value. Int max you have given, this value you have kept, that is the maximum, and then you are finding out the minimum value from this dynamic programming formula, and then you are returning that MCIJ value, whatever you will get here, whatever value you will get at that particular location of I and J, that is calculated here. You could also if you are not equal to -1, right? You have checked that it is not equal to, both are not equal, and it is not equal to -1. The value is not equal to -1. Then you are returning this MCIJ, and if it is then you are keeping at MCIJ the maximum value, and then you are calculating that and finding out the minimum value that should be in the matrix. No. Is this the best example they have given or not? I don't know. Rather than they are not generally they will not ask you to solve the problem in programming. Rather in the programming they will give you simpler questions, rather than they will be asking you how this matrix multiplication works and what is the algorithm for that. That is the thing they will ask you generally, not this one, right? But they have given you the program also. The next algorithm which is there is Floyd-Warshall algorithm, right? So Floyd-Warshall algorithm is a graph algorithm that is deployed to find the shortest path between all the vertices present in a weighted graph. So we have already done shortest path algorithm, Dijkstra and all that, right? So this is also another shortest path algorithm to find the shortest path between the vertices which are weighted. So this algorithm is different from other shortest path algorithm. To describe it simply, this algorithm uses each vertex in the graph as a pivot to check if it provides the shortest way to travel from one point to another. So what they are saying is that this shortest path algorithm is different because what it will take is it will take each vertex as the pivot or the main vertex and check if it provides the shortest path to the point where we have to travel. Right. So Floyd-Warshall algorithm works on both directed and undirected weighted graphs. So it is not that it should be directed. You can work on both directed and undirected weighted graphs unless these graphs do not contain any negative cycles in them. So there should not be any negative cycles, right? So by negative cycle, it is meant that the sum of all the edges in the graph must not lead to a negative number, right? So that is the thing. If you should not have a negative value after you are getting the result, the sum of the edges you are calculating, you should not get any negative number. That is the main criteria. That is what negative cycle means, right? So the algorithm deals with overlapping some problems. A path found by the vertices acting as pivot are stored for solving the next step. It uses the dynamic programming approach. So Floyd-Warshall algorithm is one of the methods of all-pair shortest path algorithm. It is also known as all-pair shortest path algorithm, and it is solved using the adjacency matrix representation of graph. So we have already seen the adjacency matrix. How do we find out? The same method. So it is also uh, used. So what is the algorithm says is consider a graph G equal to VE, that is vertices and edges, where V is the set of vertices present in the graph and E is the set of edges in the graph. The graph G is represented in the form of an adjacency matrix A that contains all the weights of every edge connecting to two vertices. Right. So algorithm says that step 1, construct an adjacency matrix A with all the costs of edges present in the graph. If there is no path between two vertices, mark the value as infinity. Right. So they are saying first you construct the adjacency matrix, then you find the with all the cost and edges in the graph. Then you, if there is no path between two vertices, mark the value as infinity. Like 1 and 1, you will not find any path, so you will mark it as infinity. Step 2 is derive another adjacency matrix A1 from A, keeping the first row and first column of the original adjacency matrix intact in A1. And for the remaining values, say A1 ij, if the Aij is greater than Aik plus Akj, then replace A1 ij with Aik plus Akj. Right. So what they are saying is we will create another adjacency matrix A1. So A was the adjacency matrix we have created first with all the edges adjacent. If there is no path, we are keeping it as infinity. That was our first adjacency matrix. We will create another adjacency matrix. We are naming it as A1. And from A only we will find out A1. keeping the first row and first column of the original adjacency matrix intact. So first row and first column of the original adjacency matrix will remain the same in A1, and for the remaining first row and first row and first column will remain the same as was in adjacency matrix A, and the remaining you will say that A1ij. For the remaining, say A1ij, if Aij is greater than Aik plus Akj, then A1ij you will replace with the value of Aik plus Akj. Right. Otherwise, do not change the values. Here in this step, k is equal to 1, first vertex acting as a pivot. So first k is equal to 1 if first vertex is acting as a pivot. So that is how you will keep on doing. And you have to step 3, repeat step 2 for all the vertices in the graph by changing the k value for every pivot vertex until the final matrix is achieved. So you will keep on doing this until you receive the final matrix. You will find out for all the vertices. Then step 4, the final adjacency matrix obtained is the final solution with all the shortest path. Right, that is what is there. So this is the algorithm you should know. Rather than pseudocode, this is the algorithm you should know, which is working. Now, for example, consider the following directed weighted graph GV. Find the shortest path between all the vertices of the graph using the Floyd-Warshall algorithm. So you have to find the shortest path with all the taking all the vertices, right? From all the vertices, what is the shortest path to find out? So these are the weights given here, and so construct the adjacency matrix say with all the vertices. So you have 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. So so A B C D E A B C D E A B C D E, you are keeping it here like this. You keep it. They have not shown it like that, but you keep it A B C D E, and here also A B C D E. Right now, at from A to A, you will keep it as 0. Right, then A to B is 5, so it is 5 here. A to C, if you see, this is a directed graph. The direction is not going from A to C, it is going from C to A. So A to C is not there, so you are keeping it as infinity, right? Then A to D direction is there, so it is 6. Then A to E again, the direction is from E to A, not A to E, so you will keep it as infinity. Now B to A is there, no. So B to A will be infinity because direction is A to B, not B to A. Then B to C is there, direction is there, it is 1. Right, B to B is 0, B to C is 1, and B to D is not there, infinity. B to E is there, direction is there, 7. Right, then C to A direction is there, 3. C to B is not there because direction is from B to C, not C to B, so infinity. C to C is 0. C to D is there, direction is there, 4. Then C to E is not there, infinity. Then D to A is not there, infinity. D to B is not there, infinity. D to C is not there is there. D to C is also there, that is 2. Right, and D to D is 0. D to E is 3, direction is there. Right, and then E to A is there, direction is there, E to A, 2. Then E to B is not there, opposite direction is not there, then infinity. E to C is not there, infinity. E to D is there. D to E is also there, E to D is there, 5. Right, and E to E is 0. So this is the adjacency matrix you have created, A. Then step 2 was considering the above adjacency matrix as the input, derive another matrix A0, or you can say A1, whatever name you want to give, by keeping only first row and column intact. Take k is equal to 1 and replace all the other values by aik plus akj. So now your row and first row and first column are same. First row and first column you will take from the A matrix. In A1 matrix, you are taking first row and first column the same. Now other values you will find out, and you will keep first k is equal to 1, and you will find out aik plus akj. So aik means I and j will be your this matrix. You can say what we were finding out, AB and whatever thing. So this one is B. BB was 0. So here, if we keep it as 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. So 1, 1, 1, 1. At 1, 1, so A11 plus A 1, A11 plus A11. A11 is already 0, no? A11 is already 0. How they are taking A I? If we position here, these positions you should know. In a matrix, this is 0, 0, 0, 1. The index numbers 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, right? 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, like that. So this is 1, 1 position. At this one, because these first row and first column, we are keeping it as it is in our matrix, and this we have to now calculate. If we are keeping k is equal to 1, and we have to calculate aik plus akj. So 1, 1 means I is 1, and the position number 1, 1 means I is 1, j is 1, and we are keeping k also 1. So a I k and a 1, 1 plus a k j. K is 1, j is 1, so 1, 1. So a 1, 1, a 1, 1, 0 is there. At a 1, 1, so 0 plus 0 is 0 only here. So this doesn't change. Then next is this one, a 1, 2. So this one at 1, 2 position, I is 1, j is 2. So now we are keeping k as 1. So 1 at A11 plus A12, right? K is 1, so A12, J is 2. A11 plus A12. So A11 is 0, A12 is 1. So 0 plus 1 is here, again comes 1 at this position. Then this is infinity here, right? So this position is A13. So 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 3. So 1, 1 is 0 plus A13 is infinity. So 1, 0 plus infinity will be infinity only here. Now this position is 1, 4. So A11 plus A14. So A11 is 0, A14 is 7. So this comes out to be 7 only. So this is this you are finding out now here. This position is this one is uh, 2, 1. So this position is 2, 1. So here it will be 2, 1 plus 2, 2. Sorry, 2, 2, 1. Sorry. Here it is 2, 1 plus 1, 2. J is 1, I think. 2, 1. Here it is 2, 1 plus 1, 1. 2, 1 plus 1, 1. What is 2, 1? 2, 1 is infinity here. we are keeping k as 1, I is 2. So 2, 1 is infinity plus a kj 1, 1, which is 0. How they are getting 8? 2, 0, 2, 1. 2, 1 plus 1, 1. I think here it should be infinity only. 8, I don't think so 8 will come. Because it is infinity plus 0. 2, 1 is infinity only here. So 2, 1 is infinity, so it will come out to infinity plus 0 is infinity only. Then next value is 2, 2, which is 0. So 2, 2, you will find out. So it is 2 comma 1 plus 1 comma 2. So 2, 1, 1, 2. So 2, 1 is infinity and 1, 2 is 1. Infinity plus 1 will be what? 2, 1 comma 1, 2. 2, 1 is this one only, which is infinity, and 1, 2 is this one, which is 1. Infinity plus 1, I think here it should be 1. Here it should be infinity, here it should be 1. The next one is this one. A 2, 3. 2, 3. So that means 2, 1 plus 1, 3. 2, 1 is infinity and 1, 3 is infinity. Infinity plus infinity, it should be infinity here. And what is here? 2, 2, 4. 2, 1 plus 1, 4. 2, 1 is infinity, 1, 4 is 7. Infinity plus 7. Here it should be 7, I think. How they have calculated it? What will be this? 0, 1, 2, 3. 3, 0. 3, 0 to remain the same. 3, 1. 3, 1 plus 1, 0. 1, 1. 3, 1 plus 1, 1. 3, 1 is infinity and 1, 1 is 0. Infinity only, and then this one is 3, 2. 3, 1 plus 1, 2. 3, 1 plus 1, 2. 3, 1 is infinity and 1, 2 is 1. Infinity plus 1. 3, 3, 3. 3, 1 plus 1, 3. 3, 1 is infinity, 1, 3 is infinity. So it should be infinity. And 3, 4. 3, 4 is 3, 1 plus 1, 4. 3, 1 is infinity plus 1, 4 is 7. It is not taking that away. If aij is greater than aik plus akj, then replace a1ij. ओके, तो यहाँ पे इन्होंने ये नहीं लिखा है एक्चुअली व्हाट। क्या करना पड़ेगा आपको, आपको ये भी चेक करना पड़ेगा जो आपका एडजेसेंसी मैट्रिक्स है ना, जो आपका एडजेसेंसी मैट्रिक्स है उसमें जो वैल्यू है, अगर आप ये दोनों वाली वैल्यू ए आई के प्लस ए के जे वाली जो वैल्यू आपकी आ रही है वो ए आई जे से ग्रेटर है, तो आप ए आई ये ए आई के और ए के जे वाली वैल्यू रिप्लेस कर दोगे उसकी जगह नए वाले मैट्रिक्स में। तो अगर अभी जब हम कंपेयर कर रहे थे तो अभी तक तो यहाँ तक तो ये यहाँ पे हमने अगर हम देखें ये वाली हमारी कौन सी वैल्यू थी, टू कौन सा इंडेक्स था ये 1 1। सो 1 1 में वही वैल्यू आ रही है 1 1 प्लस 1 1, मतलब जीरो ही आएगी वो, 0 प्लस 0। तो वो ग्रेट वो इस वाली वैल्यू से ना ग्रेटर है तो हमें रिप्लेस नहीं करना है। अब ये वाला है 1 2, so 1 1 plus 1 2, so 1 1 is 0 and 1 2 1 2 is 1 on 1, so 0 plus 1 will be 1, again the same value। then 1 3 में है 1 1 plus 1 3, 1 1 is 0 or 1 3 is infinity, so it will come out to be the same। then 1 1 1 plus 1 4, 1 1 is 0 and 1 4 is 7, so it will come out to be 7 here। If we come here, uh, 2 1, if it is 2 1, 2 1 plus 1 1, 2 1, 2 1 plus 1 1, 2 1 is, what is 2 1, infinity plus a k j 1 1 1 is 0, so 0 plus infinity, what value should it take? 0 plus infinity is greater than infinity. It is not, I think infinity is the only answer it will remain. And what will here be? 2 2 2. 2 2 is 2 1 1 2. 2 1 is infinity plus 1 2 is 1. So infinity plus 1, which is the greater value? A2 they have found, A3 they have found, A4 they have found, A5 also they have found. O and Q, because 3 loops will be there. How they are getting these values, that is the issue. Yes, in your book, some other algorithm is given. So they are saying the diagonal elements will always be zero. For the intermediate, we will put the column of dj. Here they have taken it differently. So here they are saying dk is the distance matrix of order n to n considering matrix element dij to k as the weight of the shortest path having intermediate vertices from 1 to 2 to k element b. M is the initial matrix and direct edge weight. If there are no direct edge weight between the two, it will be considered as infinity. Initial distance from D0 of order n to n considering direct edge weight is taken as the base matrix, distance matrix. Another distance matrix D1 of shortest path including one intermediate vertex is calculated with ij. Last distance Dn, which includes all the vertices of a matrix as intermediate vertex, gives a final result. This is the one they have taken. So we'll create the initial D0 matrix from given edge weight. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Four edges are there. So 1 to 1 is 0. 1 to 2 is direction is given, directed graph it is. So 9. 1 to 2 is 9. 1 to 3 is minus 4. This is minus 4 actually, right? And then 1 to 4 is not there. Infinity. Then 2 to 1 is there, direction is there 6. 2 to 2 is 0. 2 to 3 is 3 to 2 is there. 2 to 3 is not there, infinity. 2 to 4 is there, 2. Then 3 to 1. 3 to 1 is not there, infinity. 3 to 5, sorry, 3 to 2 is there, 5. 3 to 3 is 0. 3 to 4 is not there, infinity. Then 4 to 1 is not there, infinity. 4 to 2 is not there, infinity. 4 to 3 is there, 1. And 4 to 4 is 0. This is the adjacency matrix they have created. For creating distance matrices D1, D2, etc., we use two simple tricks for avoiding the calculation involved in each step. Weight of shortest path from one vertex to itself will always be 0. Right, weight of shortest path from one vertex to itself will always be 0 since we are dealing with no negative weight cycle. So we will put diagonal elements as 0 in every iteration. So this is 0 where weighted will be 0 to itself. For immediate vertex Vj, we will put row and column elements of Dj as it is for Dj minus 1. Right, if we don't use the above tricks, still the result will be the same. Now for creating D1, we have to find distance between every two vertices via vertex 1. We will consider D0 as the base matrix as below, right? So if you are finding out, they are saying 2, 3. If you are finding out this one, 2, 3, right? So 2, 3, D1, 2, 3 will be equal to minimum D0, 2, 3. So D0, 2, 3 has what weight? Infinity. D0, 2, 3, right? Then D023 then comma D021. D021 plus D013. This one. So D023 is infinity and D021 plus 13. K is 1 they are keeping. So D021 is 6 and 13 is minus 4. So 6 plus minus 4, that is 2. 6 minus 4 will be 2. So which one is the minimum? Wait, infinity or 2? So they are keeping it as 2. So this is how they are comparing. So we have to find out that way only. And now we have to use dkij instead of dijk for simplicity here. So D24. Now 24 is this one. So here it is 3. So D24 D024 is 2, and the values will be D021 and 1/4 infinity. So it is like this: 2, 6 plus infinity. 6 plus infinity will be infinity. So the minimum will be 2 only. Like this they are saying. Then 3, 2. 3, 2, the value earlier is 5 at 3, 2. And the value we have to take is 3, 1 and 1, 2. 3, 1 is infinity and 1, 2 is 9. So it will be 5 only. So this way they have found out. 0, 9 minus 4 infinity, 6, 0, 2, 2, infinity, 5, 0, infinity, 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 1, 0. Some elements have changed, not all the elements have changed. For creating D1, we have found distance between every two vertices via vertex 2. We consider D1 as the base matrix as below. Right now we are finding out D2. So D213. D213 you will keep the base matrix as this one. And then you will find out the minimum. So D113 is minus 4 and so you have 1, 1, 2 and D123. Okay. So in our example, if we take like that, so you have to keep on comparing with this value also, that it is smaller or that one is smaller, which is after summing what we are getting. So if you sum infinity and some value, it will be infinity only. So they are getting these values, but we were not getting these values. After you get this A2, you get this value, right? Then this is your base for the next matrix value. This will be your base. So you will keep on increasing k's value also. They have not increased the k's value. First k will be equal to 1, you will keep. Then k next matrix you are taking, so k's value you will take 2, something like that. You keep on increasing. Where here also they for in the first keeping k as 1. In the second, it will be where it is. The next index 2 we are taking the base. So k will be 2, and in the next index the k will be 3. So your k will be 3 in the next index. That is what they are talking about. Because there are 4 vertices. So when you find out D4, the final one, So the D4 gives the shortest path between any two vertices of a given graph, that is weight of shortest path from one vertex 2 to 1, whatever it is. So vertex 1 to vertex 2, what is the vertex 1 to vertex 2, what is the shortest path? 1. Vertex 1 to vertex 3, shortest path is -4. Vertex 1 to vertex 4, shortest path is 3. Vertex 2 to 1 is 6. 2 to 3 is 2. Like that. The weight. This is how they are found out. So this is how we are finding out. We were finding out correctly in this one, but here the answer they have not given it correctly. This what they have not calculated it correctly. So we have to compare it with this value also, the earlier value. And they've given the program also. We are not doing the program right now. This is so you have to keep in mind this algorithm, which is this algorithm which is there. According to this algorithm, you have to solve this question. This is Floyd-Warshall algorithm, or you can say all-pair shortest path algorithm. Right? Then there is another algorithm which is there is 0-1 knapsack problem. We had discussed about fractional knapsack in the greedy algorithm. This is 0-1 knapsack. So it is shown that greedy approach gives an optimal solution for fractional knapsack. However, this chapter will cover 0-1 knapsack problem using dynamic approach and its analysis. Unlike in fractional knapsack, the items are always stored fully without using the fractional part of them. It's either the item is added to the knapsack or not. That is why this method is known as 0-1 knapsack problem. Right. So in fractional knapsack, what you were doing, whatever items you could fill uh, in uh, the capacity of the sack, how much you could fill. Suppose 20 kg was the capacity, so in the 20 kg you could fill something, and some part of the items you could not fill, so you keep it some fractional value of that item. In this one, you will be always stored full without using fractional part. So you will be keeping in 0-1 knapsack full item without keeping the fractional part. So it's either the item is added to the knapsack or it is not added to the knapsack. That is what they are. So hence, in case of 0-1 knapsack, the value of xi can either be 0, either you don't keep it, or you keep it, that is 1, where other constraints remain the same. So 0-1 knapsack cannot be solved by greedy approach. Greedy approach does not ensure an optimal solution in this method. So in many instances, greedy approach may give an optimal solution. So 0-1 knapsack algorithm, like for example, they're saying a thief is robbing a store and can carry a maximum weight of W into his knapsack. There are n items and weight of ith item is Wi, and the profit of the selecting this item is Pi. What item should the thief take? So let I be the highest numbered item in the optimal solution S, where W dollars the weight, then SI is an optimal solution of WWI dollars, and the value of the solution is VI plus the value of the subproblem. So we can express this fact in the following formula. Define CIW to be the solution for items 1 to up to I and the maximum weight W. The algorithm takes the following inputs: the maximum weight W, the number of items n, the two sequences V is equal to V1, V2, Vn, and W is equal to W1, W2, Wn. The set of items to take can be deduced from the table starting at CNW and tracing backwards where the optimal values came from. So if CIW is equal to CI minus 1W, then item is not part of the solution, and we continue tracing with Ci minus 1 comma W. Otherwise, item I is part of the solution and we continue tracing Ci minus 1 W minus W. So here, if both are equal, then item is not part of the solution. That is what they are saying. CIW equal to Ci minus 1 W. It's just taking an example. So let us consider the capacity of knapsack is W is equal to 8. That is weight is 8, the maximum capacity of your knapsack, And the items are shown. Item A, B, C, D is there. Profit is 2, 4, 7, 10, and weight is 1, 3, 5, 7. So using the greedy approach, 0, 1 knapsack, the weight that's stored in the knapsack would be A plus B equal to 4. Uh, 3 plus 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. With the maximum profit of 2 plus 4, which is equal to 6. But that solution would not be the optimal solution. Therefore, dynamic programming must be adopted to solve 0, 1 knapsack problem. If we had used a greedy approach, that is fractional knapsack, or if we have used greedy approach for 0, 1 knapsack, so it will give us this solution. Either you keep it, because after 6, if we select this one, sorry, 4, from 8, we the weight we have selected 4, and the profit we are getting is 6. So if we add one more weight, that is 5, so it will become 9, which is greater than this. 7 also cannot be added, so only 4 will be taken, because either you take the knapsack full or you don't take it. That is 0, 1 problem. So this greedy approach will not give you the solution, so we are taking dynamic approach. Construct an adjacency table with maximum weight of knapsack as rows and items with respective weight and profit as columns. So they are saying we are creating the adjacency matrix is right here. So here the adjacency, the maximum weight of knapsack as rows. So maximum weight will be kept here in the rows, and items with respective weight and profit as columns. So maximum weight or items with weight and profit will be kept here, right? So values to be stored in the table are cumulative profits of the item whose weights do not exceed the maximum weight of the knapsack, this designated values of each row. So we add zeros to the zero row and zeroth column, because if the weight of item is 0, then its weight nothing. If the maximum weight of knapsack is 0, then no item can be added into the knapsack. So here the 0, 1 will 0, 0th row and 0th column will be kept as 0, because weight is 0 and knapsack is also 0, so we are keeping it here. The remaining values are filled with the maximum profit achievable with respect to the items and weight per column that can be stored in the knapsack. So the formula to store the profit is CIW, right? Maximum CI minus 1 W minus Wi plus Pi. So by computing all the values using the formula, the table obtained would be, so CIW. So CIW, like here they are saying 1, 2. I is 1. Weight is, this is 2. So this one, 1, 2. So if we calculating 1, 2 or 1, 1, whatever be the value, C11. So C11 is, that means the weight, and this one. So C11 will be maximum CI minus 1, that is 0. W minus 1 minus C11, that means we are taking this one, 1. Weight is 1 and 1 Wi plus Pi. Profit. How much is the profit? 2. How they have calculated it? Maximum of CI minus 1, comma W minus Wi plus Pi. This we have to see कि ये क्या. So what we'll do, we'll take this example in the next class, and we also will be starting in the next class our practical session also. We'll take 10 minutes break and we'll join again. Right? Anybody has any doubt in the previous things what we had seen? Class? Have you all of you have downloaded the question papers? I told you you download the previous year question papers which are there, right? Everybody has downloaded the question papers.
No, ma'am.
So anybody has any doubt in the question papers? Generally, in the theory part, you will not get questions related to implementation. Generally, if we see the question papers, just opening the question paper. Right now, they have not uploaded it. I think all question papers it is. They have not uploaded it. I think for December they have not uploaded it. I'm going for here. SOCIS. So here, also you have to write the algorithm only. If you see here, right? Write the algorithm.